Hello everybody, this is Benton7 on my Benton Gaming channel, and welcome to Katawa Shoujo. It's a thing. Do you know what it is? I do. Do you? Maybe not. Let me explain. It's basically a visual dating simulator novel thing, where it's mostly just kind of a visual novel, but occasionally I'll get choices that will thus put me on the path to victory or to not victory. Just to give you all a summary as to what this is basically about, we're playing, or not playing as anybody, the story is being told through the perspective of Hisao Naki, and he has this thing, and it's a disability, I guess, and so he has to go to a school for people that are disabled, and there are 5 possible women that you could end up with by the end of the story. I honestly am not planning on doing more than just like 3 videos of this. Like, I'm not going to go through an entire path unless people are interested. I mainly just wanted to give this a shot because I did this a few years ago with a different visual novel, and I thought it would be interesting. So here we go. I'm going to be doing 3 20-minute readings, and I'm not going to be using the mouse because screw the mouse. Oh my gosh. Okay, what is happening though? Where? Oh, there we go. So I can just start. Sweet. Oh my gosh, let's get my cursor away from there. Alright, so it's gonna be a lot of reading, so let's get into this. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden wind chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy far out of sight of teachers and fellow students. Sounds lovely. But now in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. Okay. So I'm going to be adding my my own little commentary about things that are going on just to make things different. I know I'm not the first person to do this. This is actually like 4 or 5 years old. And so I fell in love with this a few years ago, and I haven't read through it. So I thought, you know, let's just let's just do it. I breathe into my cupped hands and then rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. We have our first dialogue, our first sentence. Just how long am I expected to wait out here? Okay, no, I'm not gonna. I'll add some goofy voices later. Right now, it's just, this is the main character. We're gonna be just talking regularly. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? I'm sure the note said 4:00 p.m. Oh my gosh. Ah yes, the note. Slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way shows a bit of initiative. I don't know, back when I was in like 3rd grade, there was this mailing system on the wall where every student got a little pocket, and you could just kind of like get pass notes. It was basically an official, it was officially licensed way of passing notes in class. And that was how I first got my girlfriends in 3rd grade. I was all like, "Hey, yo, do you want to date? Circle yes or no." That kind of thing really brings me back. Although this is supposed to be like a senior in high school. As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. The snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky above are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their snow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao, you came? I don't know who this is. Oh, I didn't even read it. No, I wish I could go back. I think it just said like, oh wow, a hesitating voice is all like, yo, what's up? However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. I'm turning 12 soon. It's a voice I've listened to hundreds of times, but never as more than an eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face this voice, the voice of my dreams. My heart begins to race. Oh whoa! So we get a nice little shot of our character Hisao and Awanako, this other person, who we aren't seeing her face right now. Awanako, Awanako, I don't know why that came out so weird. Awanako, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it. I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result. I relate 100%. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give that note to you. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile that makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Okay, so these are two people that... Oh wow, my heart is pounding now as if it were trying to burst out of my chest and claim this girl for itself. That would be a sight. Wow. Okay, well, so, here we are. Out in the cold. Well, see, why did she leave this note if those two just never talked? Is this like she thinks he's cute or something and she's like, hey, yo, what's up? Hit me up, or I'm gonna hit you up with this note and you're just gonna meet up with me. Like, what is happening here? So, here we are. Out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up in the branches. The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Awanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of the wind. As it passes, she rights herself as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her fingers. So are they just like, they're just standing here just staring at each other like, so, you wanted me to come out here, so what's up? What are you doing? And she's all like, twirl hair. Amazing. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. Ooh, we got more zoom out stuff. My throat is tight. I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see... Oh no. I wanted to know if you'd go out with me? Wow, it's like some middle schoolers having a come. Amazing. I stand there motionless, save from my heart pounding, or my pounding heart. I'm dyslexic with words, I'm sorry. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reach up to try to massage my throat, but this only sends spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao? Oh no. My whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot open in terror. Shoot open. Wow, I'm really good at reading words, I would like to say. Hisao! The beating on my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak at the knees. Oh no. We just met our character and he's died. The world around me, the canopy of bare branches, the dull wind sky, a Wenako running towards me. All these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of a Wanako screaming for help and the incessant clatter of the branches above. Oh no. And then Hisao died. Oh, maybe not. We have some animation. That's nice. Four Leaf Studios presents Katawa Shoujo. Roll credits. Oh wait, these are the credits, I'm pretty sure. The opening credits. Inspiration. Raita. See, the thing is, this story is going to have a lot of Japanese names that I will not be able to read properly because pronunciation is just not one of my strong suits. But yeah, I watched a series of this when I was like 15 or 16. And well, no, it was 2013, which was 4 years ago. So I was 15 at the time, about to turn 16. And so, yeah, like I watched through that. I watched through a series of somebody else reading through it, which kind of inspired me to do it at the time. But I was like, I wasn't really happy with it, so I ended up deleting it. And then I just kind of went on with my life. And then eventually I did a reading of Tokyo School Life, which is basically like this, except with 12-year-old girls. And that's a bit creepy for me to do nowadays. So I thought, you know, let's just go ahead and start with Katawa Shoujo. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Oh, okay. So it was a heart attack. He didn't die, but he did have a heart attack. And now he's in the freaking hospital. He's surviving, I guess. In that whole time, I could probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts. I can attest to that. So, I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word. A foreign, alien one. One that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently, I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. See, things like this, like I hear stories like this and I'm like, wow, so what if I have a condition where one day I'm just going to be like, hey, yo, let's go get dinner somewhere, and I go get dinner with some friends, and then I just die. It's like, that's just a scary thought sometimes, but it's a rare circumstance, so it's like nothing really to get seriously worried about. It's like, I'm worried I'll go outside one day and catch cancer. That's also not how that works. Is that really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up, though. Wow. Well, I mean, I understand. Like, this is a really downer situation to have a girl that you think is cute hit on you and, like, ask you out, and then you have a heart attack. Like, that's a little bit embarrassing, I would say. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I just can't do the English language, I apologize. I had already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course, there isn't a cure, as the cliche goes. Because of their late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, it felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and all the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had turned into a class project. See, that's unfortunate. Like, you eventually will learn who the real people are, and sometimes there are none. There are no real people. And it leaves you wondering, like, is this my fault? Or is this just, I'm not surrounded, I'm not in a good situation where people are, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of my first month, only my parents came by on a regular basis. Awanako was the last to stop visiting. See, that's just awkward. Like Awanako, they didn't speak ever. Like, did she just feel bad and so she walked up? Because they didn't really have an established connection earlier than that situation, so I can't imagine why she would be any different than anybody else. But, yeah. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. See, it's like they have nothing in common. They never talked. It's like, what even? We didn't touch the subject that was between us on that snowy day ever again. That's awkward. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. Well, it's unfortunate that you have to, then. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the last month or so, I can't speak English. For the last month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking of it as some kind of omen. I still ask the cardiologist about leaving, but my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shuffles around the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point I stopped watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation, or maybe you're just depressed. That could be an option as well. I started reading instead. There was well, yeah, then you must be really depressed. No, I'm just kidding. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming them, I would go back for more. I found that I liked reading, and I think I even became a bit addicted. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. See, I feel like life would be so much more enjoyable if, like, with a passion for reading. I personally am not much of a reader. I've told people this in the past. I don't know. It's just not something I've ever gotten really into. I just have a hard time focusing. So, yeah. But I love the stories. That was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from the other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mass I was trapped inside instead of moving within. A week could go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization that I didn't even know what day of the week it was. Well, see, that happens to me just in, like, on a summer break. Like, I losing track of time, it's kind of like, you don't have to be in a hospital to have that happen to you. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, though the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself, or through the barrier of nonchalance that I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start to feel sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I would have to put the book aside just to lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Right, because you're a man, Hisao. You can't be giving in to those you can't let your masculinity go, even in the hospital by yourself. Today, the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. He seems excited, but not very. It's like he's trying to make an effort to be happy on my behalf. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head of cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Oh, man. Then he casually sits down on the edge of the bed next to me, or next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you doing today? I really, like, oh man, just all the different characters and all the different potential voices that I'll get to do in my time here. I'm very excited for it. I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I think the doctor should have more of a serious tone. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. I just deepened my voice. That was a good idea. We all have your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. I like it. I like the voice. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad. Hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? Uh-oh, what is it? Cardiac arrest? Oh my gosh. That's a lot of words in the English language. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contraindications. Let's just leave it at that. And dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. All this for the rest of my life? Every day? Yeah, that's a lot. But he's been in the hospital for like 4 months. Like, has he not been taking anything? Like, why is it just now that he's... Like, I guess just maybe nothing is working, but why 4 months in do they finally are like, hey, here's everything that you need to take? Like, I don't know. I'm afraid that that's the best, or no, it's the doctor. I'm afraid that that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I'd have felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents and we believe that it is best if you don't return to your old school. What? That's a bit of a wig, I would say. My gosh. Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Homeschooling is a tough boat to be in. It will eventually sink. Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. It's ignored. Amazing. We all understand that your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I? It has been 24-hour nursing, or it has a 24-hour nursing staff, and it's only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think about it like a boarding school of sorts. A boarding school. That's certainly positive words to use. Thank you, Mr. Doctor. It's been designed to give students a degree of independence while keeping help nearby. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids. Don't try to disguise that fact. If it really was that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Right, okay. Of course, that's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to the other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. You'll need a job one day, and this is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamn opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and, well, it's not the same one. A special school. That's an insult. That is what I want to say. It's a step down. Well, I mean, you have a disability, Hisao. Like, what? You're sitting there, you have a heart condition. Why is this, like... I don't know. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. Well, I mean, I guess, like, maybe Hisao is, like, looking at this like, oh, wow, all the kids are, like, running into the wall and banging their heads and screaming, and I'm going to an insane asylum school. But, I don't know. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help in one way or another. Your father's right, and many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues in another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me, but what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. Yeah, it's funny. I always had thought life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. Well, see, you take things for granted. That's the thing. Hisao is learning a lot of life lessons. A, you can't let your disability hold you back. B, life is freaking boring, but you gotta, don't take the things you have in life for granted, because there are people who have it way worse. So always be happy, even if you're terrible and have a terrible life. I want to protest. I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. The fact is, I now know it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all of this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. There really isn't a choice. I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. Well, see, he doesn't even know what it's like, so I feel like the wise thing to do would be like, well, let's go give it a shot, and once I see a kid banging his head on the desk and screaming out, maybe then I'll come up with some kind of thing, some kind of assumption about it. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. There you go, Hisao, looking on the bright side. That is all I can think to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would just be a mistake to just resign myself to thinking that. At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. There we go. That's exactly what I was saying. But anyway, there we go. And we are out of the hospital. What is this? He's holding on to his heart. Adorable. Act 1, life expectancy. So, now that we have the prologue out of the way, let me know what you think. I'm just going to close things off here. In the next video, we're going to be going into Yamaku Academy. That's what the gate looks like. You'll never know what beyond the gate will look like unless you come back. So, leave a comment below. Like the video if you liked something like this. I don't typically do series like this, so beyond this week, I don't think I'm really going to be releasing anything for this, but anyway, just let me know what you think. I'll look at the comments. I'll read them. Leave a like if you liked the video. And yeah, this has been Katawa Shoujo. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.